of the proper notice, please.
The County Board of Supervisors July 15th meeting notice and agenda was posted in the Government Center building in 2 places, posted on the county website on Thursday, July 10th. In addition, on Thursday, July 10th at 3:38 p.m., the Office of the County Clerk distributed copies of such notice and meeting to supervisors and media via email.
Counselor,
That is proper notice.
okay. Need a roll call, please.
Brad Olson,
Here.
Doug Rowdy,
Here.
Steve Warno,
Here.
Pamela Garvey,
Here.
Tracy LeBlanc,
Here.
Dan Ruck,
Here.
Sharon Kelly,
Here.
Jeremy Hall. Absent. Kim O'Connell,
Here.
Tony Johnson,
Excused.
Jay Luke,
Here.
Francis Duncanson,
Here.
Brett Arcand,
Here.
Keith Karpinski,
Here.
and John Bonaprise is on there.
He's on. Okay, we have a quorum. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
The flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Need a motion on the agenda, if so inclined.
Motion to approve, being John's not here.
Okay,
I'll second it.
motion made and seconded. Any discussion about it? Okay. All in favor? Opposed, same sign. I need a motion on the matter for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve what's on the consent agenda, A and B.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor? I oppose, same sign. We have a public comment opportunity if anybody has anything to say. There's nobody on public comment. Oh, moving right along. Fortunately. We've got a ordinance on a presentation from the medical examiner on the scattered plot of the presentation from the medical examiner in reference to our claimed a cemetery now that once belonged to who, we didn't know who. So, but now it's cut and dried, and I guess we got a explanation of what's going on from our administrator in human service.
Take it away.
Go ahead.
All right. I am not the medical examiner. However,
We
the
know
medical
that.
examiner gave me permission to stand in for her
I didn't look
on
up.
vacation. I am Tanya Eichelt and I am the Community Services Director. So I work with Jamie quite frequently. So we wanted to give a little presentation on the scatter plot that we've been working on that used to belong to an unnamed township. You could probably figure it out as soon as I give you the address. So what the scatter plot purpose is to assist our local funeral homes when they have an unclaimed body in the final disposition of the cremains of Polk County residents. So they there's a death, family members won't claim the body. The medical examiner's office pays for the cremation, and the body, then the cremains get stored at the funeral homes for an indefinite amount of time. So the purpose is to give back to the community members who truly have no other option. They haven't been claimed, and it's just a respectful service for that person who has passed on. So the location, like I said, it's 110th Avenue and 120th Street. So if you pretty much head straight south of here, cross Highway 8. If if you're familiar with the old Poor Farm, it's just right around the corner from the old Poor Farm. Also used to be formerly known as, or the slang for it was Poor Farm Cemetery. However, we've done extensive research on what the actual name is, and it is the Amory Prairie View Cemetery, according to all of the deeds and historical information that we have. So that is the name that we went with. And I know, Mo, you did a bunch of research on it too. So we have thoroughly vetted that out through Register of Deeds, historical societies, museum, and other. If you hear it referred to as Poor Farm Cemetery, know that it is also the Amory Prairie View Cemetery. It is an abandoned cemetery. And these are just some pictures, I think, that we're showing now of the actual land. And we go to the, yep, that's okay. So there are some crosses out there. I think there's 28 crosses. They're not labeled. We don't know who they are. The best that we could determine was that there was a fire back in 1876. And so that could be where the crosses were. The fire was at the Poor Farm. Poor Farm was in existence from about 1874 to the 1950s. And then there's also 4 headstones out there. So not sure. We just don't know who those folks are. This John McAdams' date of death was March 27th, 1883. That could have been a Poor Farm resident also. So once the Poor Farm residents, if they passed on, they were buried there if there was nowhere else to bury them. Next place, there's a little lake that will soon be covered by brush for the site of the headstone. Just some more shots if you want to keep going, Claire. That's the road view. So that is, what would that be? This the Avenue, 120th Avenue, right on a corner. So additional installations that are yet to come. We've been working with Melgard Monuments out of River Falls. This is the headstone that we purchased. They had an extra stone that we were able to get at a discounted price to have the in memory of and the resting for the scattered remains will be right in that area. There's also a bench that was made by an Amory tech ed student. So we had the we engaged the Amory School District to make the sign as well as a bench. So if down the road, if family members do locate somebody who is scattered there, they can go and pay their respects using that bench. We paid for the materials. I think it was a couple $100. We are also working on an online database that will provide the name, date of death, and the town of location, and that will just assist family members who are searching for their decedent. So the process for determining when we have a scatter or need a scatter, they will remain at the cemetery, or not the cemetery, the funeral home for 60 days, and that's required by statute. So 60 days, they're unclaimed, then they become our responsibility. The use of the plot will be rare. It's not an alternative to a burial for family members. It is truly for those unclaimed decedents. The medical examiner will be on top of that with the funeral home, and once those 60 days are up, we cremate. After exhausting all of the measures to locate the next of kin, medical examiner's office will contact Pastor Barry Schaefer. He's the Polk County chaplain. They'll do a small service, scatter the remains, and then we'll record it into our database. It is truly to assist people who have nobody else available to give them a final disposition. It's not, like I said, not the cost-effective way to have a funeral nowadays. And the interesting piece is that John and Jane Doe's will not be subject to the scatter. What the medical examiner explained was that those need to be buried because they can be exhumed for further forensics if needed. So we wanted to give some thanks to people who helped us along the way with this. Alan Carlson, he's the tech ed teacher at Amory School District, Melgard Memorial, Polk County Community Services Division, the Highway Department. They actually dug the post holes for us and placed that sign. The Polk County Chaplain, the Polk County Museum, that unnamed township, and the administration here for helping us to make this happen. Any questions?
Hearing none, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
How many unclaimed is there right now?
We
Is there
have
very many?
one unclaimed
Just one.
since 2023. That does not count the bobber that we found floating in Balsam Lake.
Okay.
That guy is in Jamie's office.
Right, because the medical examiner, if someone hooks an urn in a lake or something, the medical examiner just can't put it back in the lake. They have to dispose of it properly in a cemetery. So, and officially, this is a county-owned cemetery. The official owner on the deed is the Environmental Services Committee. So those of you on that committee.
It's yours.
We're familiar with that cemetery already.
And there's a gentleman that lives next to it that, he reached out, a couple years ago and asked if he could maintain that cemetery. And I gave him, a letter of authorization. I think cut the grass, and if he needed materials, we'd help him out with that. So.
And I think he's sanded some of those crosses
Some
and
of the
kind of
crosses,
maintained
cleaned them
that. So
up.
it's very kind of him to volunteer his time to keep that up.
And again, this is for a very rare situation. This is not a cost-effective way for people to dispose of their loved ones. So.
Thank you very much.
You.
Trying to get some attention. It's been neglected for a few years, kicked around, should say. All right, number 9, proposed resolution. I need a motion to adopt it. Then I want to hear from the sheriff and referee.
Make a motion to adopt.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any comment other than the sheriff? Go ahead, Sheriff, please.
Thank you. The International Association of Emergency Managers has proposed August to be the month to honor the work that's done in emergency management. And like I say, Jay, you go back further than I do, but I only recall 3 managers for Polk County, going back to Dick Fabrini and then Kathy Poyer and now Lisa McMahon.
Right.
And the work they do oftentimes is kind of behind the scenes, but they really are the big picture people. And tonight I have with us here Dave Campbell from Allied Fire, and also Nikki Gullickson from Northwest EMS, Ben Strobach, who is a certified emergency manager with Clear Lake, and then of course Lisa, and then I have Ray Helling from Turtle Lake Fire. So I appreciate them for coming tonight, but this is just a proclamation to honor the big picture people, because they really have all these plans and they all work collectively. We see each other on accidents and we see each other at fires and the crisis issues, but behind the scenes, they're always preparing and planning. So this is something to acknowledge their work and to acknowledge August as their appreciation month. That's all I have. I would be in support of the resolution, obviously.
I would assume. Any questions of the sheriff or anybody? Comment, go ahead.
I just want to make a comment and thank all of these people who are here tonight, and the sheriff and his department and everybody who works in emergency management for the jobs that they do. They're a real blessing to the county, and I just want to acknowledge and thank them for that.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. Need a motion, I need a vote. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, move along. I have number 10, we have no appointments from the chair. But the administrator may have something to add to his appointment.
We do not have an appointment.
If you don't, well, good. We're full up, huh? A report, I really don't have much to report on, except for the fact that some time ago, we formed a well, we had a resolution where we put out some money available to try to stimulate EMTs or medical supports for, we've been having a hard time filling emergency services and ambulances. So we offered $1,000 to somebody that could do that and stick with it for a year. It was required. We got a response and someone has completed the obligation that was necessary to do it. We got a thank you card that we will be with the clerks that you could post it or she can go read, you could read it at any time. It's from a Sarah Jensen who worked for Amory portion of the Northwest Ambulance Service. And she's gonna use, she indicates here that you'll read it, that she indicates hers for college. She's going to Mankato right now, and she is dedicated young, comes back once a month just to fulfill her obligation to serve as an emergency service. So I want to definitely commend her for that. And she gave us a nice thank you card that it's never as effective or as personal as when you read the words that she printed herself. So I will never attempt to try to relate the emotion that's necessary to, or that's written in the words that she wrote out for us, thanking us very much and going to utilize the money properly. Okay, administrator's report.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good times. In August, my condition of the county report will be coming as typically due in July. We're waiting on some stuff for the audit, so the condition of county report will be in August. That meeting, approval of the county fees will be in August. With that, sales tax for June was down 6% from 2024. We're still to the positive overall for the year of 4%. So we're watching those numbers very closely as we get into the budget process. As you all know, the federal budget and the state budget were passed. There was some wins for us. First with the federal bill, the municipal bonding. For municipal bonding, the non-tax status was a stay for that one, so no taxes on municipal bonding, which is a win for us. We're still vetting out on how the Medicare costs are going to affect Wisconsin and how that goes. There's still new data coming in. One of the things that will affect is a SNAP program, as Wisconsin is one of 10 counties that administers that program through the state and the county. So we'll wait to see on how that's going to affect and the new reporting requirements and eligibility requirements that they have to follow up on with those. At the state levels, transportation did very well with that. ARIP continues in the next biennium. General transportation aids sees a 3% increase in both biennium of the years. The routine maintenance agreement, that's the agreement that the state has with the counties to maintain state roads, is going to show an increase. That one was 34 million statewide. Although our ad hoc committee for mental health crisis proposal did not make it into the budget, the governor did set aside $10 million for Chippewa Valley to open up, to help with one facility opening there. They also put in $10.8 million for crisis urgent care facilities, or CUFAs, on there to open one of those. So that was a win for us. Another win for us was, if you recall, the child placement at Lincoln Hills. The cost was currently $1,300 in one. It was going to $2,501 in July here, and then $2,738 in 2027. The governor lowered those rates to $501 for 2026 and $738 for 2027. So significant cost savings to the counties on that, which they realized that the counties could not support that. They'd go bankrupt. That's all our whole allocation basically for one child to be there a short time. With that, other things that are happening, I did pick up the check from the Fair Society today for their initial 50% of their share for the grandstand project. That was $181,970. So gave that money to Don, and Don quickly gave it over to finance, the deposit. So that one's in there right now. Also, the Clam Falls Dam, Rod Polk is still working with the engineers on the actuator issues, although they're in there. The actuators are having a hard time working. As I can explain it, it's kind of, if you know a crescent wrench and the way the gears work on a crescent wrench, you turn it sideways and it works a certain way, then it can bind up a little bit. Right now, they're looking at those ratios right now, because to open the gates even a little bit, he has to bump them up and bump them down, bump them up and bump them down. So they're working with the engineers out of Canada and with DNR and making sure those actuators work. And we are keeping the level to, right now, the level of the flowage is at 1023.1 above sea level. That elevation, our goal is to keep it from between there and 1023.5. That puts us approximately a little over a foot below the bridge. So if you hear calls that the lake is not at the current level, we can't really raise it much higher than that, because we'll be hitting the bridge. And with the expected rain tonight of some areas getting 3 to 4 inches, possibly, that's a good thing that we have that level in there. So other things, proud to announce that Helen Swanson has met her education requirements for the health officer position. That maintains our level 3 health department on there. And I'm running out of things to talk about now, so that's my report.
That's it?
So, if you have questions for me,
Anybody have any questions?
we are working on the budget.
Brad, yeah, I got you.
I worry about you, Jay. So the actuators on the dam and Clam, who's footing the bill for it?
The contractor.
Okay. Okay. Then another question that just looking at, we'll say for information, maybe at the next meeting when you come back with with how the county is doing. In 2024, we passed resolution 424, adding the zoning compliance technician. So I guess I'd like to know how many citations they've wrote out and the amount of money that they've brought in, because that resolution is pretty specific as to how much money is expected to come in from that position. So I guess I would like for all of us to know the outcome of that resolution. From there, again, the number of citations to the dollar figure brought in probably in 24 and then through the first half of this year.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, Kim?
How is HR? What is that position posted or what's going on there?
HR, our past, our HR director no longer works for the county. Right now, we hired a firm to help us do an HR audit to see what our needs are and where we're lacking or where we need to improve with HR. So currently, on the company's name,
Lakeside HR Consulting out of Twin Cities, and Lisa Perez is the consultant working with them.
so make sure we're in compliance with everything, and then they will assist us with, they can assist us with hiring a new HR director at that point in time.
That it? Satisfied? All right. Anybody else?
And we have funds to be able to do that, to
Correct.
pay for the consulting and all that.
Okay. Hearing no more, we'll listen to, John is on the phone. He's got some report to give to us. Can you hear us, Johnny? We can't hear you yet. Well, we did make a connection, did we not? Yeah. Must have fallen asleep or something. I think he's down at Stevens Point. Oh, where is he now?
Wisconsin.
He's at the Wisconsin Advisory Committee for 2 days. So surprised that his phone isn't working. It usually works when we're in a meeting, so. You there, Johnny? Well, we'll have to go without it. I'm sure we'll hear about it at the next meeting because there's some interesting stuff that he's been working on and, had some positive things that he briefly told me a little bit about what he's been doing and, there's some positive things that they're accomplishing for us on our behalf. So we'll have to wait till John gets back, I guess. Okay, anybody else have anything to,
Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
I have a thank you here from the Cushing Fire Department. We had 3 people pass the first responder class. The chief just wrote a huge thank you to supporting our local fire departments and helping with training costs for the EMR training. Very greatly appreciated. Earl Larson, Chief, Cushing Fire.
Great.
I gave the bill to Don.
I'm kind of impressed with the improvements that we've had in our emergency services. All of them. Excellent. Anybody else have any comments? Hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. No discussion, all in favor?
Right.
Right.